So my area is a hot mess because I have been scrapbooking and having a total just party in here all by myself, a party of one. So I hope that you had a chance to watch my show and tell video where I revealed that I have switched formats. I have decided to transition to a 6x12 format, and I have to say I absolutely love it. I love it. It has just kind of freed me and allowed me to just enjoy in a new way Project Life Pocket Scrapping. It's just enough space. The monthly was not working for me, I think, as a long-term format. It was simply a useful format to use as I was trying to quickly complete 2014, but I needed to switch to something else. And the 6x12 is perfect. I have to say that I stumbled across this idea when I was looking at Kelly Perky's website. I think it's kellyperky.com, and she also uses a 6x12 format. I was very intrigued and thought I would give it a try, and again, I love it. So whether you're using a 12x12 standard Project Life or whether you are using some 6x8, 6x6, or 9x12 format, there's so many options out there, and I would really encourage you to find what's working for you in the moment. But here's the trick. You don't have to stay with that. So work with a format that serves your needs in the moment, but also, don't be afraid to switch things up. Right now, 6x12 is working. I'm loving it, but it's very likely I'll switch things up at a later date. But either way, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking out how I like to create. I hope you are inspired to create pages, memories that really, really speak to you and your family. And as always, hugs, hugs, and more hugs. Thanks so much for joining me, YouTubers. I know there are a million and one other things you could be doing, but you've taken the time to stop by and watch this process video, and I appreciate it. I hope you are inspired to go create your own beautiful pages. So I have pre-selected some photographs and embellishments and cards to use. Pink is really going to be my go-to color for this particular spread, with just an added touch of some other colors, including gold, because I'm really loving the blinginess. Yes, I just created that word, the blinginess of gold. So now that I've trimmed down that one photograph, I've moved on to this 4x6 of a budding tree in our front yard. It's just so beautiful, and spring is just so refreshing and elevating for me. I just love this image. And so I've taken this gold tag that I think I just picked up at one of our local craft stores, along with some silver and white tags, and I'm going to use this gold tag as really the foundation for a little embellishment cluster. So you see that I've taken a few punches, and in addition to wood veneer and some other embellishments, and I'm going to kind of pull those all together. But before I do that, I want to use just a bit of string. I'm really enjoying using string, and the texture, I think, that it creates on a page is particularly lovely. So I've taken that bit of string, gathered it together, adhered it to one little punch, and now I'm going to just place that wood veneer right over top, and I have the foundation for my cluster. Now adding that little XOXO, and I'm going to see if I can find a nice little phrase from this Tim Holtz package. I have to say, if you have not put your hands on this Tim Holtz package of phrases, it is really worth, I think it may be like $3, especially if you use a coupon. It's worth it. The phrases for me are so wonderful. Be authentic. Be who you are. Be true. It just really speaks to me and the way I like to see the world and the way I like to bring myself into the world and encounter others. Authenticity is absolutely everything. As they often will say, only you can be the best you. You can't pretend to be somebody else. So that idea of authenticity really inspires me each and every single day. And so I love that the Tim Holtz package of phrases incorporates lots of different
kind of elevating, inspiring phrases. And so I'm going to incorporate several of them into this spread, and I've used them repeatedly in other spreads as well. So you can see I finished off that cluster of that top photograph, and now I've moved on to this bottom photograph of my family kitty cat, Terrace, and I really wanted to play around a bit with vellum. There was a little package in the side of the photograph, and so by layering the vellum over it, that kind of hides it. In addition, I've pulled out one of my embossing folders. This one has large circles, and I really like, again, the texture that the embossing creates, but not too much. And so I've layered that over the vellum, and I love that look. I love the hint of vellum peeking out from under the embossed white cardstock. So now I'm going to move on to this image of my son at Starbucks with me. I stepped away from the camera to do a little bit of journaling with my typewriter. However, I journaled on the wrong side of the tag, and rather than go back and fix it, I just flipped the tag over and just kept the show moving. And so instead, I just decided to place a light green doily on top. Loving doilies these days. You can find them absolutely everywhere, even dollar stores. And so I am going to now create not really so much a cluster, but just kind of layer some text on top of the tag and the doily. So this particular phrase, you and me, is too long to place straight across horizontally. However, by just clipping it apart, I'm able to place both words nicely onto the tag. These particular little tags, labels are from Heidi Swapp, I believe, and likewise, so are the little typewriter letters. I love the gold that she uses in the type letters and also in the labels, and so they fit perfectly with this particular layout. And so rather than journal on the tag, I've simply included the same details that I would have, which is that my son and I were on a date. I love taking the time to sit down without distractions, even without my husband and eldest son, and just talk to my little guy. I think he really benefits from that special one-on-one time. And I also do the same with my eldest. It's so important to listen. Everybody wants to be heard and to be fully seen. And so I find that one-on-one time is so essential to all of our well-beings. And so this little date with my youngest at Starbucks was a lovely Saturday morning, and we just sat and chit-chatted about absolutely nothing and yet everything. So I also needed to include just some other details in terms of the week. And so I decided to journal on the vellum. And rather than place the vellum on white cardstock, initially I decided that I like the look of the pattern paper kind of peeking through. So now back to the kitty card. I pull out this very, very old sheet of letter stickers. I mean old, probably 4 or 5 years ago, but this just goes to show you there's some things worth hanging on to. And so it's just by pluck, by luck, that I'm actually able to perfectly fit Fur Family on this card. I mean, I could not have planned it any better if I tried. Probably would have messed it up if I tried. It just worked out. Sometimes that's how the universe does things. So, so far, things seem to be coming together quite nicely on this spread. So I'm trying to figure out kind of what I'm going to do next. I decided to work with this gold and pink card. The first gold and pink card that had XOXO on it, it fell away somewhere. I don't know if it had something sticky on it, got attached, couldn't find it. So I just decided not to worry about it and use this particular polka dot card instead. And so again, I'm going to create a little cluster in the center of this 3x4 card using a bit of the thin wood veneer. You saw me punch a circle of that. Then a little bit of vellum again. And I'm going to pull out the wood veneer phrase Daydream. It actually broke in half some time ago, but I decided to glue it together, and you can barely see the seam that separates the two parts. And that now has given me a nice centerpiece to hold the 3x4 card. In the end, I decided I don't like the vellum layered over the patterned paper. Instead, I really do like the cleaner look using the white cardstock. So that's what I decided to do. I have this bit of green doily kind of sitting right there to the side. So I decided to use that half sheet on the top of this journaling card. Trying to figure out how I wanted to adhere it. In the end, I'm like, you know what? It's all about the tiny attacher. So clip, clip, and that's how it goes. So the next question for me, oh, I'm going to put this little bit of a label. This is again the Heidi Swapp label with the teal and the gold. I'm going to just put that right at the top and add a quick few words. Oh, so I actually switch out one of the words to the gold tag. Add a little phrase there at the bottom of the daydream tag. I tell you, love, love. I cannot tell you enough these little phrases and words. And add a couple of words right there at the top. And I think I'm pleased. Almost. Voila. We're good. Okay. So the last and final card, I need to do the title card. So this is a Project Life card from one of the kind of large, those big 12 by 12 boxes full of Project Life cards. I can't remember which set. I'll have to go look it up and maybe put it in a linky below. But anyway, I decide to pull out my punch. I so rarely use my punches, but again, oldies but goodies, friends, oldies but goodies. So I pull that out and decide I'm going to use it. And then the vellum again, because I've been working with the vellum so far, and I put it in an embossing folder. And initially I think I'm going to use the little small circle embossing folder, and then I decide on a whim, nope, I am going to use the wood veneer embossing folder. A slightly different touch. So I know it's hard for you to see the impression that the wood veneer embossing folder made, but it really is quite lovely. So now I'm going to trim that down just a tad so that it fits nicely inside the white 4x6 card. I want to use this bit of pink card on a diagonal. You've noticed, I suppose, that I have a little addiction going on right now to the diagonal placement of cards. And so I'm going to do that again here. Really love that look. Don't know why. It's just working for me right now. And then I pull out a white doily that I recently picked up. And I want to include that on this card. All right. Another use of my tiny attacher. And this title card, I think, is a fairly simple and clean card. At first, I kind of play around to see if I'm able to use one of these clear stickers. I opt not to do so. And I'm kind of hunting, looking for some other little element. While I'm digging, I come across this little acetate pink flower. It came in a pack of embellishments. Love it. Decide it works perfectly. And so just quickly adhere that, put a little wood veneer heart on it with the phrase, and that card is done. But now I'm back to the title card. I pull out these old letter stickers again, and that kind of light blush green really worked well and picks up the green in the doily. And so I'm going to use them again on the title card. Week 16. Just trimming up some of the loose pieces. And now what I need to do is find out or figure out a way to incorporate the dates, the weekly dates. And so I'm using my date stamp more and more these days. And just quickly on one of the Heidi Swapp labels, I place the dates, place the label onto the title card, clip with the title attacher, And there we go. I actually love the kind of clean look of the title card. Something a little bit different for me. So I'm really about done. And then I decide I just want a little more gold, just a hint. And so I use my tape, my little tape that I use on absolutely everything because I love it. And I put the tape on to 2 wood veneer arrows. I have to fidget with it a bit, kind of play around with it. But once I've got the tape on there, I dump a little bit of gold glitter over it. Shake, shake, tap, tap. There we go. Yeah, see, we all need a little bit of glitter in our life. And then I place the 2 glitter arrows on the final card. Thanks for watching. Hugs to ya. Be well.